Have you ever had one of those days where everything just seems to go wrong? Well, for Daniel Harper, it was one of those nights. It was a cold Friday evening in Boston, and Daniel was rushing through the busy streets, already late for his second job. The wind was biting, so he pulled his gloves on tighter, trying to keep warm. As he did, something slipped out of his coat pocket, falling silently onto the pavement. But Daniel was in such a hurry, he didn't even notice. He just kept going, his mind already on the long shift ahead. Hours later, long after midnight, Daniel finally got home. He was exhausted, bone-tired from working 2 jobs back to back. He reached into his coat pocket for his wallet, ready to finally call it a night, but his fingers found only empty fabric. His heart sank into his stomach. It was gone. His ID, his bank card, and $320 in cash. That was his rent money, money he had painstakingly saved all month long. He sank onto the edge of his bed, just staring at the blank wall, a hollow feeling growing inside him. Of course, he whispered to the empty room. Of course, this would happen now. It felt like the universe was playing a cruel joke on him. He replayed the entire evening in his head, trying to pinpoint where he could have lost it, but it was all a blur of rushing and stress. Sleep didn't come easy that night. The weight of his loss was crushing. How was he going to pay his rent? How would he get a new ID, a new bank card? It all felt overwhelming, like a mountain he had no energy to climb. The next morning, Daniel was still reeling from the shock when he heard a knock at his door. He wasn't expecting anyone. He opened it cautiously, peering through the crack. Standing on his doorstep was a young boy, probably no older than 12. The boy was holding something carefully with both hands. It was a wallet. Daniel's wallet. "Is your name Daniel Harper?" the boy asked, his voice a little shy. Daniel could only nod, his own voice caught in his throat. The boy held up the wallet. "I found this near the bus stop last night," he explained. "My mum saw the ID and said we should bring it back to you." With trembling hands, Daniel took the wallet and opened it. He almost didn't dare to look, but as he flipped it open, he saw it. Everything was still there, his ID, his cards, and tucked away in the back. The cash, all $320 untouched. A wave of relief so powerful it almost knocked him over washed through him. He looked from the wallet to the boy, his eyes starting to burn. I don't know what to say," Daniel stammered, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you. Seriously, thank you so much." The boy just shrugged, a small, simple gesture. "It's okay. My mum always says if you return things you find, good things will find their way back to you." Daniel was so grateful. He immediately tried to give the boy some of the money as a reward. "Here, please, take this," he insisted, pulling out a $20 bill. But the boy just shook his head firmly. "No, thank you, sir," he said politely. "My mum said not to take anything, but can you just promise to do the same for someone else, if you get the chance?" Daniel looked at this kid who was teaching him a lesson in integrity far bigger than any reward. He nodded, a genuine smile finally breaking through his worry. "Yes," he said, "I promise." He watched the boy run back down the hallway, feeling a warmth spread through his chest that had nothing to do with the heater kicking on. It was a feeling of hope. A few days later, still touched by the boy's kindness, Daniel decided to share his story online. He wrote a short post about what happened, not expecting much. He just wanted to put some positivity out into the world. But then, something amazing happened. The story started to get shared, and shared, and shared. It went viral. Thousands of people from all over the world started leaving comments. Things like, "This restored my faith in humanity," and "Wow, that kid was raised right. Kudos to his mum." Another person wrote, "I was having a terrible day and I really needed to read this today." Daniel spent hours reading through the comments, overwhelmed by the outpouring of positivity. His small, personal moment of despair and relief had somehow connected with so many people. It was a powerful reminder that we all just looking for a little bit of good in the world. Weeks passed, and life went on. Daniel kept his promise. He started looking for small ways to pay it forward. He'd buy a coffee for the person behind him in line, help a neighbor carry their groceries, or leave an overly generous tip for a struggling server. He even stopped to help a young guy whose car had broken down on the side of the road, waiting with him until a tow truck arrived. He didn't do it for recognition. He did it because the boy's simple request had stuck with him. He was keeping the kindness going. Then, one evening, Daniel came home from work to find an envelope taped to his apartment door. He opened it curiously. Inside, there was no fancy card, just a simple, handwritten note. It read, "You helped my brother a few weeks ago when his car broke down. He told me about you. I also saw your story online about the wallet. Thank you for keeping kindness going." There was no name signed at the bottom, just gratitude. And tucked inside the note was a $50 gift card to a local grocery store. Daniel just stood there in his doorway, holding the note, and a huge smile spread across his face. He thought about the little boy at his door and his mom's words, "If you return things, they find their way back to you." He realized it wasn't just about physical things. It was about kindness, too. Because kindness doesn't just end when a wallet is returned or a favor is done. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it just keeps finding its way back again and again. What do you think? Have you ever experienced a moment of unexpected kindness that changed your day or even your perspective? Share your story in the comments below. Let's keep this wave of positivity going. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that I hope will brighten your day. See you next time.